Hello, everyone. This is a little cheeky pop-up live for a Friday evening or a Friday daytime, depending where you are in the world. I'm in one of those moods where I can't really concentrate on anything. I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I'm a bit like lost. I've been, for the last week, I did a Netflix series, five series it was. So that's like 50 episodes. And I I binge watched and it's finished and I don't know what to do with myself. So my free time is strange now. And I couldn't really focus on what case I wanted to cover in this live. I thought I'll come live, but I couldn't decide what case I wanted to focus on. So I'm covering so many cases at the moment. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to come on, pop up live, hardly any warning, see who'll hop in to the chat and have a chat. And you can ask me any question about any case. Now, I'm not promising I'll be able to answer because even though I am kind of covering a lot of cases at the moment, I can't cover every possible case that there's ever been in the world. So yeah, let's say a few hellos. I don't even know who else is live. I don't know if I'm competing with anybody big. You know, I tend to get very low numbers in my chats when someone else is live. Someone's more interesting than I am. So hi, Gloria. Crystallized Eyes. Hello, hello. Hi, Amy. One Man's Trash. Oh, that's a good name. Kimmy, Nana, Karen, Lisa, Trina, Brenda, Vegan Firefly. Hello. Boston Chris, Cook 13 Doodle, Cat Toes, me Milky the Clown. Oh, Miss Milky, sorry. I've not got my glasses on. I can't read. Lana, Suzette, Trixie Star. Hello, hello. Lana's just getting her workday started. Well, mine is finished. Mine is finished. Oh, it's people hopping in. Hello, everyone. So I'll be looking out for questions about any case whatsoever. Like I said, I can't possibly promise to answer all of them. You know, you might come up with some cases that I've got no idea about. Oh, actually, I'll tell you about a little series that I'm going to be doing in December on this channel. I've decided that for Christmas, like during December, so it'll run from the 1st of December till the 24th, so it'll run all the way up to Christmas. There'll be a different case every day, and it'll be a cold case, and I'll do a different cold case every day. They won't be long videos. They'll be like 10 minutes or so. Thank you so much, Betty, for the 19.99. Hopping in there with a cheeky super chat. Thank you so much. And the idea of it is to publicise, raise awareness for cases that don't get much coverage. So there'll be some that you've probably heard of, and then some that you may not have. I've got a few already. So I'll welcome, once the series starts and I publicise it, I'll welcome people's, you know, what's the word? What's the word? Just recovering from COVID. I've got COVID brain. I can't think at all. Suggestions, that's the word. It wasn't even a difficult word. I'll welcome suggestions because I've got a few. So I've got like the first 5 days, I think, covered. But then I'll be wanting to know what you want. What cases do you think should be publicised? So yeah, that's going to come up in December. Towards the end of November, I'll start to mention it in videos so that, you know, people get to know about it. So you're the first people, you 153 people in the chat, you're the first people to hear about this. It's going to be called Cold Case Christmas. So it'll start on the 1st of December and it'll run all the way up to the 24th. So it's like an advent, be like a different case every day. Okay, so I've got some questions here. What do I think about the Madeleine McCann case? Interesting. Madeleine McCann was one of the first cases that I looked into in depth, long before I had a channel, and I've never covered it on either of my channels. I think because I burnt myself out, because I did that much, I watched that many videos and documentaries years ago. Like, I followed it from day one, literally day one. Like, I remember it hitting the British press like hours after she disappeared, and I followed it ever since. And I've not covered it because so many other people have. I might do it as a members live at one point, at a certain point, maybe, because I do know the case pretty well. But what do I think about it? For a long time, I thought that Jerry and Kate were guilty, not of murder or anything bizarre, but Madeleine had an accident while they were out and they thought that, you know, they were going to maybe lose their jobs, and they made a terrible decision. And that's something that I've thought from quite early on. And then when the cadaver dogs hit in the apartment and then on Kate McCann's clothes and in the hire car, I thought, yeah, I think that's what happened. However, that German guy, can't remember his name. Thank you, Yorkie, for the £5. I'll answer that in a second. The German guy, can't remember his name. If you know the case, you know the one. I don't know, I'm looking at him. I've been looking at him and thought, am I wrong? Am I wrong about Kate and Jerry? Have I been wrong all of these years? What, it's like 15 years, isn't it? So yeah, interesting. Good question though. Good question. I will answer this super chat and then I'll go back up the chat because there are some questions here. What Netflix series did I watch? It's called The Last Kingdom. It was like a history. It was good. It was based on novels, a series of novels, and it was about the battles between the fight for England, like Anglo-Saxons versus the Danes. And it was, I know that period of history really well. I've got a history degree. I've got a psychology degree. I've got a psychology PhD, but I've also got a history degree as well. And I know that period of history pretty well. And it was historically very close. It was very cleverly done, even though the storylines were very intricate and were obviously not based on fact. It was so good. I've dreamt about it. I'm still dreaming about it. And I'm going to have to watch it all again. I'm going to have to start all again because I'm missing. I got so engrossed in it. Like 50 episodes. I've just been lost once I finished it. I've just been lost. I don't know what to do with myself, honestly. Any new news on summer? No, although I don't know if I should say it. I don't know if I should say it. Somebody did say it, actually. Somebody did say it yesterday in a live, and it's been discussed in my Facebook group today, so maybe I should say it. But there are some YouTubers, I'll not name who they are, have been to Tennessee to search this week, or I don't know whether they're still there. And they've met up with, I believe this is all hearsay, this is just what I've heard. They met up with Don, but they also met up with Andy Bernard, and they've done some searching of certain parts of like areas of interest. So I don't think it was meant to have come out. I don't think it was meant to be common knowledge, but seeing as it was mentioned on a live last night, and because it's in my Facebook group and it's being discussed as we speak in my Facebook group, then I guess the cat's out the bag. So, but I'm not going to say who is there. And it's obviously up to them if they want to disclose the reasons why they were there or anything else. It's up to them. That's the only new thing. There's nothing else. The case has gone very, very, very quiet. Ow, Cassie's scratching my back. What are you doing? She's like stood up at the back of my chair, scratching my back. Happy Mirror. Oh yeah, November the 11th. Yeah, it's Remembrance Day. Forgotten about that. Remembrance Day. Remember all the fallen, and those that served. Thank you for your service. For those that served or are currently serving, indeed, in the military around the world. You never finish your work day. I used to be like that. I used to be a complete workaholic, but I'm not anymore. Anything new from Quinton? No, nothing new from Quinton. The search had to be called off yesterday, only temporarily because of a tropical storm that was going through that area of Georgia. So they didn't search Thursday, Friday, but they're back on Monday. So they're still searching the landfill. And I've no idea what's going on with any of the protesters. I've not followed that at all. I don't care. I think I just don't want to know. That's not my thing. I know that the local PD put in some kind of, I don't know, measures to try and stop all the nonsense that was going on. Excuse me. But no, but they are back searching on Monday. Any news on Don Wells? No, other than what I've just said. Let's have a look. Texas, 34 degrees. Oh, it's warmer than that here. Let's have a look what temperature it is currently. According to my phone. According to my phone, it's currently 16 degrees C. 16 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But it's warmer than 34. It's actually unseasonally warm at the moment. Like I can go out with a t-shirt on and not be cold. Listening from work today. Good. Yeah, I hope he stays off YouTube, to be honest. I mean, it's entertainment, isn't it? And while Don's, entertaining the masses on YouTube, at least Summer's name is being mentioned and it's something to talk about. But I don't know. COVID brain is real. It absolutely is real. I've had it twice now. And I wasn't ill either time. So tired and my brain, I just can't think. And then I got long COVID last time. So I hope I don't get it again this time. Because the long COVID thing only came on like a month after. I had it in May 2021. And then it was only like the end of June that I started to feel really ill. And I was diagnosed with long COVID. And I've slowly recovered from that. So I hope I don't get it again. Sean Doherty, anybody investigating and pushing Ellie? Not that I know about, not that has been publicised. I did a live on him. I did quite a detailed live on his case a while ago. I think it was on this channel. I'm not sure, actually. It might have been on the other channel. But no, nothing new on that case that I know about. When for suggestions for Cold Case Christmas. Once I start publicising it, on, I'll publicise it on both channels, then I'll ask for suggestions. If you tell me no, then I'll not remember. But I'll be more organised once it's coming up. I'll be more organised, and I'll write suggestions down, and yeah. So only 3 likes. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Only 3 likes. Yeah, I've got 133 likes. Come on, we can do better than 133. 135 likes now. Let's get it up to 200 likes. Let's do that. Let's move down the chat a little bit. I am live, yeah, Glinda. I am live. Let's have a look. Yeah, hit the like button. I should do something really annoying like Gray Hughes does. Oh, Johnny Gosh. I don't know. That case, to be honest, it's not a case that I've ever deep dived into. I only know the case based on probably 2 or 3 documentaries that I've watched on his case. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a good one. I don't know. What do you guys think, if you know that case? There we go. Christian Bruckner. That's the guy. Regarding Madeleine McCann. Yeah, I mean, he was in the area. His phone pinged in the area. He's done some pretty vile things. If they were going to set up someone, he's a good person to set up. But after all this time, you know, I don't know. I did look at him though. Once his name started to pop up, I did look at him. Let's have a look. Oh, well, she obviously needs money. That was my first thought. I don't know whether I'm going to watch. Apparently I can get that it's on Peacock. Apparently I can get that channel in the UK because I subscribe to Now TV. Not that I know how to get on it. My son gets it for sport. So I can watch it if I want to. I'm not sure that I want to though. But then again, if people start talking about it, I might be tempted. But my first thought was she wants money and they're paying her handsomely to do the series. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Oh, we got a super chat coming. Oh, there's so many comments. I'm gonna have to. Thank you so much, Tattooed Rebel. Have I heard of the Trinity Bacchus missing person? 16-year-old daughter of a sheriff involved in the Kylie Rodney case in Nevada. Yeah, I saw a couple of channels post her missing information, and then I had a look on Twitter, and yeah, she's the stepdaughter, I think, stepdaughter of a sheriff's deputy. Interesting. But yeah, I have heard of that case. Hopefully she comes home. It's a brand new case. Hopefully she comes home. She's just run away or something. If she stays missing, I tend to, with missing teens who are like 16, 17, I don't tend to report on them straight away because so many of them are runaways who come home like themselves. You know, they've run off with a friend or a boyfriend or something like that, and they're not actually in danger. So I usually wait a little while. I watch from the sidelines and wait a little while, and then if it looks like this person actually is in danger, there's something really wrong here, then I'll start reporting on it. But interesting. She went missing in her PJs. I know that. No, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. She had a robe and PJs. Yeah, that's strange. It reminds me a lot of the Caitlin Ledbetter case, if anybody's heard of that, from Tennessee. She's been missing since 2021 now. And it reminds me a lot of that. I mean, the Caitlin Ledbetter, I did a couple of videos about it, about that case, a while ago now. She was 25, so quite a bit older. She had an argument with her dad, and then her dad said that she jumped out of the window in just nightwear, ran into the woods, and has never been seen of again. I can't say that I believe her dad's story, to be honest, but yeah, it did remind me a little bit, like the clothing that she was reported to have on, reminded me a bit of the Caitlin Ledbetter case. But you don't know. Don't know. Yeah, I tend to just wait a little while, see what happens, gather some information. Did I see where a deputy that was involved with the Gabby thing was arrested for child P or something? Oh, he's so small. No, I haven't seen that. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I mean, 16, it's a difficult age. Sometimes it's just an argument and there's nothing really major going on at home. It's just an argument. Sometimes it's running from something really bad. But wait and see. I think it's on the wait and see pile, that case. Hope she turns up and she's safe and well and nobody need worry. And she's just, there's red flags with it, but yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait a couple more days, wait and see. All right, I'm gonna I'm entering a rabbit hole. What I am or someone else. Curious what to do with the 2.79 million subs. All that cash still rolling in, and all the guys who made it happen just starting fresh. Curious what will happen. Well, I've made a few videos about the situation. It seems to be that because Jared owns the company, it's not just a case of the guys getting rid of him. That would be it's the easy thing to do, him step down and someone else take over. But it's not as simple as that. If Jared doesn't want to, because everything's his, all that equipment, all that really expensive equipment is his, the company's his, all the money is going into his bank account. So yeah, and while the channel is still up, and presumably Jared will keep that channel up, it'll still keep earning money. I mean, obviously, if there's no new videos, then it'll slowly decrease. The channel will just kind of get lost eventually in the algorithm and the money will decline. But yeah, it'll still be earning money because people will still be watching the old videos. And it's a very, very, very sad situation. As I've said in the videos that I've made, it's heartbreaking. because they did do good work. They did, you know. But he does. He does. Unless he sold it. He does. Like, don't take into account the fact that there's a CEO, you know, a supposed CEO. That's just perhaps a paid position for tax reasons. It doesn't mean to say that because there's a named CEO that Jared has sold the company. It may have sold the company, but that doesn't indicate it. So unless there's anything more on that I've missed, then I know it's a rabbit hole, and it's not a rabbit hole that I'm going to jump down, to be quite honest with you, because it's yeah, you get lost forever. He created a separate LLC and family trust. So if he's if he's expecting going down for a long time, then if he puts the company in trust to his family, then his family will get the money, whatever money's come in. Or if he decides to sell, I mean, obviously, if he's not using it, he's going to sell that equipment. So, yeah, that'll obviously take care of his family. But it doesn't mean to say that somebody's bought it who is just going to run Adventures with Purpose, perhaps do a rebrand and run Adventures with Purpose as it has always been. That's not, it doesn't look like that's what's happened. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah. I'm going to admit that I have unsubscribed, and I've also cancelled my membership to the channel. Because if you're still a member, I mean, obviously it's up to you, but if you're still a member, then who's getting that money? It's Jared. And if you're still watching their videos, who's getting the ad revenue? Jared. So up to you, though. I know. I mean, I kind of think, well, you know, they've done the honourable thing, you know, Nick and Carson, Josh, Doug. I'm not actually sure whether Doug's resigned. Like, he was a little bit vague. People say he has resigned, but his video was a little bit vague. But at least they've jumped ship. Whether they knew, whether they had an idea, whether they kind of knew something was going down, but they didn't know the details, or I would imagine that Jared has told them something that's very sugar-coated. And because they're friends, why wouldn't they believe that sugar-coated thing? You know, so even if they were aware of something, they might not have known the full scope of everything. Thank you, Holly, for the $4.99 super sticker. That's very kind of you. I've got two screens going on and one of them's frozen. Noob. I can only see the little GIF things on YouTube. I can't see them when I'm on StreamYard. Honestly, I was more into, when I watched the videos, I was more interested in the person that they were searching for rather than them, to be honest. So it could have been anybody, to be honest, you know, doing the rescue or recovery, I should say. I've never really thought anything of the characters involved, but now I see everything very differently now. So yeah, I can see what people have been seeing. The video that I put out yesterday, when I said I see what you see now, I see a lot that people have been talking about that I didn't see before. It's like my eyes have been opened, and it's worse, I think, than I imagined. So, having problems cancelling your membership, just go into your settings on your YouTube profile, and you just get a option to cancel. It's easy. There's a few people unsubscribing. I mean, I'm not telling people to unsubscribe. That would be very wrong of me. It's everybody needs to make their own decision. But no, it's not about being judge and jury. You know, he is innocent till he's proven guilty. But the accusations that have been made have been enough to indict him. So it's important to keep that in the, keep that in really kind of strong in your mind, because a 30-year-old case, an indictment on a 30-year-old case, the information that the DA has got must be really strong for a 30-year-old case, because it's not like there's going to be any forensic evidence that's going to help the case. So it has to be strong evidence, and he has admitted it in those emails. So his defense might be that he didn't write the emails, that he's been set up. But I don't believe that personally, just my opinion. So it's not about being judge and jury. That has to happen. Like, the legal process has to happen. But for the more than 2.5 million people who subscribe to Adventures with Purpose, who knew nothing of it, and the guys who worked for Jared who knew nothing of it, or at least perhaps didn't know the full scope of what was going on, I think there's a responsibility. And some of the sponsors from, that were sponsoring Adventure with Purpose have pulled out. They don't want the names associating with it. There's ex-members of Adventures with Purpose who've come out and talked about the things that were going on that they couldn't talk about before. So there's a lot. And, you have to take that into consideration. But, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And it's one of them. It's, it's what's in your heart, what you think's right to do. Thank you so much for the $5. $5. It's only just popped up on YouTube. It's weird. Sometimes YouTube, like, the messages come in quicker on YouTube, and sometimes they come in quicker on StreamYard. It's weird. What is AWP? Adventures with Purpose. If you've not been following that whole thing, then you won't know. But yeah, I knew it wasn't a non-profit. I knew that. And they were taking a salary, taking a wage from it, because, well, everybody's got to live. So I don't begrudge them, or at least before this, I didn't begrudge them earning a lot of money, because, if they're doing good work and people are interested in what they're doing, and they've blown up on YouTube, well, good luck to them. But I don't begrudge anybody making money or making a lot of money in whatever career they choose. But it's just now that the money perhaps, according to some, has not been spent in the ways that we thought it was being spent. So, yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Did I ever get into the JonBenet Ramsey case? And if so, what do you think happened and who's the culprit? I did a members live on JonBenet Ramsey a while ago on MichelleAfterDark. So I got into it there. So that's there for members. So if you're a member of MichelleAfterDark and you haven't seen JonBenet Ramsey, then go and check it out. It's I thought it was quite an interesting live. It was interesting to do because the DNA evidence, there's the chance if the the people in charge in Colorado get their act together and release the DNA that's still on file, there's DNA that doesn't fit any of the members of the family that is available, and John Ramsey wants it retesting and forensic genealogy done on it, and there's a company that's offered to do it, and I've not heard anything since. That was in the news the week that I did that live. That was in the news. That's why I chose that case to do a members live on. So I don't think any of the family have anything to do with her murder. I think perhaps it's somebody known to the Ramseys who got access to the house. But it's a shame that there is DNA still on file from a male who is not a member of the family. So not John, not Burke. And there's a potential through forensic genetic genealogy to actually find the person now, 20 odd years later. So it's down to the higher ups in Colorado to get their act together to release that DNA. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the mother. The DNA is from somebody who is not a member of the family. There was DNA on JonBenet's underwear. There was DNA on the weapon. One of the can't remember what, but there was DNA anyway. So it's not the family. As far as potentially one day will be proven. So suggestion for deep dive on Citizen X, serial killer from Russia. I've seen the movie, but wonder if you've got any further insight. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Sorry, Emily. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sounds something out of science fiction. Yeah, he does have another son, but it's not any member of the Ramsey family. So they're looking at the Y chromosome. So the Y chromosome comes from John. So if it can't be any of John's sons. So it's not him either. As far as we know. I mean, obviously, if that DNA needs to be retested. And given the increase in sophistication of DNA technology these days, even a partial profile can achieve matches that weren't possible just a few years ago. Hello, sorry to interrupt, Judy. Hello, thank you. Finally caught alive. I know. I did a video. I included a clip from Kyla Ginn, Sam's son, in my video yesterday on Michelle After Dark. So go and check it out. Questions. How do we know if you're going to post on Michelle Walks or Michelle After Dark? I never know where to go, and it seems sometimes I get a day or two later. Well, I would say put your notification on, but YouTube is rubbish at giving people notifications. So generally speaking, I post on Michelle After Dark every day. I very rarely miss a day. This channel, I don't post every day. I use it very much as a second channel. So I might run a series on it, or I might do a live on it, but I don't post regularly every single day on this channel. Whereas I do on Michelle After Dark, but I don't have a specific upload time. So it tends to be that video will come out sometime in the afternoon, my time, which is early morning in the US. But sometimes I'm a little bit earlier, sometimes I'm a little bit later. But you can probably, 99 times out of 100, I will post on Michelle After Dark every day. So that's the channel that you probably, if you want a video that day, then go and check that channel before this channel, because it's much more likely to be a video there. But yeah, other than putting your notification on and YouTube not honoring those notifications. Some people seem to get the notifications and some people don't. So I don't know. YouTube is broken, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've got notifications on for channels I subscribe to, and I don't get notified, and I don't know. It's kind of annoying. What are my thoughts on Candice Dunn and Andy welcoming several UT? I think you mean YouTubers. I talked about this earlier. So if you've just come in, I mentioned it earlier because that was one of the questions was it anything new in the summer case, and I think that any searching, if they've gone there to search certain areas of interest, then at least somebody's doing something. If I was in Tennessee, I would want to go and search. I would want to spend my time rather than talking about summer wells. I want to be out there searching for summer wells. So if several YouTubers have got off their asses and actually gone and done some searching, then brilliant. I wish more people would do it. So I'm happy that they have. The fact that I don't think anybody was meant to know is a different matter. If they just wanted to go and do that, then I know it's come out. It's come out on a channel last night, and it's been discussed in my Facebook group today, which is why I've mentioned it now. I wouldn't have mentioned it otherwise, because it's down to those people who were there. I haven't mentioned any names of the people who were there, but it's up to them if they want to talk about it, anything they find, or they want to talk about it after the fact, then it's up to them to tell people that news, not somebody else. Dawn, thank you for the $10. Thank you for picking up those large rocks from my fields the other day. Yeah, I've been picking rocks for a while off that field because it's people are asking me why. And if you know anything about farming, if you've lived near farmland or you've been a farmer, then you'll know why those rocks they can really harm the equipment. So the sowing, the ploughing, the harvesting, that kind of thing, you know, those rocks get in the equipment and it's bad. So it's a good time while it's really muddy and while there's no crop in there, it's a good time to pick the rocks. So the farmer doesn't know. The farmer doesn't know that he lives like 2 miles away. I just see these rocks and I just feel like I should, doesn't, you know, something something to do while I'm walking, looking at these rocks. So that's why I've been doing it. It does, it destroys the equipment, TV Cat. It does. You know, so doing the farmer a favour. He doesn't know, but I don't. Yeah, it's no skin off my nose. It's like I pick up trash from the woods, you know, put it in the bin. It's just one of them. But yeah, I'll be rock picking for a while yet, because usually, like this year, he's planted just like a cover crop. So anybody who knows farming, they plant a cover crop and let it die. So the nitrates and stuff from those plants, and it's just been like grasses and some, I don't know what the thing was that he planted was like various grasses, and it's dying off and it's exposing the rocks. Whereas the last couple of years he's planted winter wheat. So by this time there's coverage, like the wheat's grown, and then once it gets cold it stops until the spring. So the rocks haven't really been exposed, but this year, because that cover crop's died, he's not done a cover crop for a few years. He did beans. I remember him doing beans. He did kale as well, kale and beans as a cover crop, because that's really good for the soil. Just let it die and it goes back in. Like beans are really good. And I rock pick then. But that one field, that field that you see me at a lot, that's right next to my house. So it's easy just to go out and walk that field. Whereas the 2 fields along, he's actually planted winter wheat. So I don't know what his rotation is, but he obviously has a rotation. So yeah, a bit of farming talk for you there. I got a super chat whilst I was doing farming talk. Not that I've ever been a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I just live very close to farmland. And my great-granddad was a farmer. My great-granddad he wasn't the farm owner. He wasn't a landowner, but he was a manager at a farm. Not the farm that I walk on, the one of the next farms, still in the same village. But yeah, so I can't say it's, I guess it's in my blood, but we've not been landowners. So anyway, thank you for Brenda for the $5. Thank you for your insights and sharing Cassie Tilly on your life with us. Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. A lot of people's dogs seem to like watching mine. My dogs have no interest in watching YouTube or anything. They don't watch anybody's channel. Even when I sometimes watch dog training videos or search dog videos and things like that, and they've still got no interest whatsoever in them. Yeah, this time of year it's great, because while the cover crop's died now and it's so muddy out there, no one's walking those fields. So I'm literally on my own. I've like got, I don't know how many acres, it's a lot. Like there's like 4 fields this side of the Roman road, and then there's a couple of fields after the Roman road, and nobody's walking them because it's so muddy. There's only me that's stupid enough. So it feels like I've got my own personal farm to walk on. Whereas in summer, or when the weather's, if it goes really cold and it snows and it's frosty, people will walk out on those fields. They just don't want to get muddy. So, oh dear. Both your grandparents are farmers. Yeah, it's only my great granddad. I come from a line of coal miners, and like the males on both my nan's side and my granddad's side were coal miners. But my great granddad, he loved animals, like, and animals loved him. So when he was a very young man, he got signed up to the army. It's the First World War, and he survived the trenches. He actually was in the Battle of the Somme. It's a good time to talk about this, actually, because it's Remembrance Day. He survived the Battle of the Somme, and when he came home from war, he said, "I don't want to go down a mine. Like, I've had my fair share of darkness." So he got a job on a farm, and he worked with the animals. And yeah, it was actually a cattle farm he worked on. In the days before farming became really intensive, so it was like the old-fashioned farming where they'd walk the cows around and just walk them around and walk them to market and stuff like that. And he'd sleep in the barn with the cows. Like when they were calving, he'd sleep in the barn with them, so that, and they trusted him. So he had dogs and stuff like that as well. They do like the mud. Yeah, they do very much. Farmers in Texas. Thank you, Glinda, for the $4.99. Love casting Tilly's Curiosity and Joy. Do you think they'll ever recover Dylan Rounds or find out what happened to him? There have been EquiSearch has been there last week, 2 weeks. I think they did 6 days with the drones. If you caught Ducheron had them on. He had Twyla and Dave on from EquiSearch a few days ago. And Candice Cooley. Whose channel was she on? No Thanks Investigates, I think. She was on talking about EquiSearch, and she said it was great because there was no publicity, there was no cameras. You know, the guys EquiSearch just got on with it, and they had a really good kind of 6 days. They've covered some of the areas where the family thought should have been covered, but there's still a lot to do. Like Twyla from EquiSearch said that she's never seen anything like it before. Like that desert, just that expanse. It's like looking at Mars, you know, it's just expansive. So will they ever recover him? I want to say yes. I really want to say yes. But I think that if he's been hidden in a mine, or like Candice is saying that they've got to check the wash, which is, it's a place where when it rains there, water runs into, but it's huge and there's loads of these washes. When she says the wash, it's like, it sounds very small, but it isn't. She thinks he's been hidden in the wash or a wash somewhere. And that's where she wants the drone pilots to concentrate on. But there's miles and miles and miles and miles. So I think that a search team is going to have to get very, very lucky to find him, or he's going to get found completely by chance one day, if he's knocked down a mine, this is assuming he's knocked down a mine, or someone's going to have to talk and actually tell the family where they hid him. So hopefully at some point soon, somebody will confess and Dylan can be brought home. That would be the decent thing, but people aren't decent. So I like to think so, but it's just a very, very, very difficult area to search because it's just miles and miles and miles of nothing, you know, and it's not even like there's many properties out there where somebody's going to come across him accidentally. It's not like there's a lot of like hunting or anything like that out there, you know, because there's nothing there. So, yeah, I think I did. My great granddad was very much into animals. Animals liked him, I think, more than, and yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for your service. Everybody who's serving currently, everybody who's served in the past, everybody who made the ultimate sacrifice. It's a good day. Absolutely. And prayers for Dylan as well. Yeah, it's horrible. It really is. You just feel like Candice and Justin, they've just been so strong. And you know, I just hope that one day it's over for them and they find him. They find him. Yeah, research have been yeah, very recently, because I think they just got back when they went on duty run. I think they just got back. So they were concentrating on drone searching because it's probably just about the only way that you can cover a decent amount of ground. You know, if you were doing, you know, literally boots on the ground, you'd be there for the next 10 years and you'd only cover a fraction of that area. So, do you have to bath your pups every time you come in for your walk? I'm wondering each time. No, if they get really muddy, then yeah, they'll have to have a bath. Tilly's usually okay. It's usually just a pause because she's so tall. It's not like she's getting like mud on her belly. So usually it's just, you know, washing her paws rather than giving her a bath. Cassie tends to get more baths. However, I either what I do is, if she's been in the mud, I run her through the grass. I let her run through the grass and the undergrowth around the edges of the fields before I go home. And then it gets the main amount of mud off her, so she's not treading it all the way through the house. And then I can either just chuck a bucket of water on her paws and her belly rather than the full bath. So no, I don't bath them every day. It's not good for them to bath them every day. Even if they need it, it's not good for their fur. They lose the natural oils if you bath them every day. So no, I don't bath them every day. But because it's not like I have to get in a car and, you know, them being really filthy in the car, or there's certain things that I do before I come home, so it reduces the amount of mud that is on them when they come in. Daniel Robinson, yeah, he's another one who you just think, you know, it's a similar situation. Well, it's not the same situation. I mean, in the Dylan Rounds case, we kind of know who did it. At least law enforcement believe they know who did it. There's one suspect. His name is James Brenner. Hopefully one day he'll confess. But in Daniel's case, like, what on earth happened to him? Like, what on earth? Was it an accident? Was it foul? But we do no idea what happened to Daniel. Nothing. But it's similar in that it's very inhospitable place where he went missing. Same with Aidan Clune. If you've heard of Aidan Clune's case, he went missing a month before Dylan Rounds. And again, it's a heartbreaking case because he's in the desert and it's just awful. And I've heard his mum, I think it was Sleuth Mom that's interviewed her a couple of times. Aidan Clune's mother said that, you know, she's been out searching there in the desert where Aidan was last seen, and they were able to track him like via like footprints and scent. They tracked him for about 20 miles and then the trail just went dead. You know, the scent had dissipated and it just went dead. And it could literally be feet away from them and they wouldn't know, because there's there's ravines and it's rocky and it's desert, but there's like this mountainous area that he ran into. So it's just awful. And it's the environment that's against you. And I don't think there's any foul play involved in Aidan Clune's disappearance. He was having a mental health crisis, ran into the desert, ran into this mountainous area, and they just can't find him. It's just horrible, really heartbreaking. And to be honest, I've stopped following the Scott Peterson thing. To be honest, I've not kept up with the latest in what's going on. You know, he's never going to get released. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So people who are following that case will know, and I don't. It's not a case that I've kept up with. That was something that came out. I'm presuming you're talking about Dylan Rounds. That was something that came out early on in the case, that he had this large amount of money on him because he'd been paid for a job. But apparently not. I think Candice said that they've accounted for the money. I think she said that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she has said that they've accounted for the money that he was paid for that last job that he did during that custom farming. Yeah. I think Candice said, but correct me if I'm wrong, that money's been accounted for. Tilly is 6. She was 6 in July, and Cassie's 1. She was 1 in March. Questions. I'm just going to do 10 more minutes because my throat's getting really dry and a bit sore. Like I'm losing my voice a bit. I don't know whether you can tell. Just COVID. I've not got COVID anymore, but I've still got the after effects of it. But thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you so much for the £4.49. Is it a hippo? Oh dear. Yeah, it's bizarre that they were able to track him for so long and then he just like disappeared. And if his case had got big, like if a lot of people had picked up on Aidan's case, there'd have been all of the speculate he'd have been abducted by aliens, and there'd have been loads of conspiracy theories, but his case never really took off. You know, I think people have only ever heard about his case because it was similar to Dylan Rounds. And there was some speculation when Dylan went missing that there was a serial killer out there in the desert in Utah, you know, the Utah-Nevada border. But they're very different cases. I mean, I did a video. It's on this channel, I think. I did a video just speculating on whether there was a connection, because it's easy to think there might be because they're in the same geographical area. Although I think there's about 100 miles between them, but it's the same kind of desert, you know, area, like that end of Utah, like towards the Nevada border. But they look so similar. Like they were both 19 when they went missing. Dylan's had a birthday since, but they were both 19 and they look very similar to each other. But when you scratch the surface of the cases, it's obvious that Dylan's was foul play and was, you know, it's a homicide investigation, whereas Aidan's, there's never been any mention or any inkling that there's foul play, because he was having a mental health crisis, which was known. It was known to his mother and to his grandparents. His car was found at the side of a road. A police officer or a patrol person, not as a police officer, but a patrol person actually found his car. And there was nothing stolen, and he's run off in some kind of, I think, some kind of mental, like, psychosis, or, you know, a really serious mental health condition. He's run off, paranoid and fearful, and unfortunately he succumbed. That's, you know, what his mother thinks, and it's horrible, because you surely run out of hope that you'll ever find them. Not only that you'll never find them alive, but you'll never find them, full stop, and you'll never have that closure of knowing what happened. So I will leave the live up. I always leave my lives up. Always leave my lives up. So yeah, you can watch it back and watch as many times as you want. What do I think of Tears of a Crime Faking It? Never heard of it. You'd have to fill me in on what case that is. So I don't know. I'm afraid. Yeah, again, like some people's dogs watch Tilly and Cassie. It's also some people's cats that watch them as well. Yeah, he was. His mother knew he was. That's why his mother kept ringing him, and she was incredibly concerned about him. So yeah, he was. May you search me? You can do. Notice I have your name as a doctor. Can you tell us your doctorate? My doctorate is in psychology. My area of expertise was forensic psychology, so crime. My research has spanned 2 decades. I got my doctorate at the end of 2002. I'd started my research in 1997. Published my last paper and it would have come out in 2021, but I don't work as a psychologist now. I worked as a professor, a university lecturer for 20 years. Over 20 years. Well over 20 years. Because even when I was a PhD student, I was working part-time as a lecturer. And I got about 60 academic papers out there. Forensic psychology, so to do with, some of it's experimental, so with things like victim blame and attitudinal research, things like that. Some of it is working with victims of crime, mainly sexual crime, but it's not something that I can talk about on YouTube because of its stupid rules. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. But I'm easy to find. I've got a Google Scholar profile. I've got a ResearchGate profile. I'm easy to find if you want to check out some of my papers. No, I don't. Never heard of that person. Dr. Soam Das. No, I'm afraid I don't know that person. But yeah, I don't work as a psychologist anymore. I have a different job now. And I do have a black belt, yeah. Again, that's something that I've not done for many years. When did I get my black belt? I was actually a PhD student when I got my black belt. So I like doing a PhD. I was doing a PhD, working and training for my black belt all in the same year. So that was an interesting year. I literally never sat down. But I was very, very fit. So when did I get my black belt? I got my black belt at the end of 2000. And I trained for a while after. I moved, fell out with the club. I moved anyway, joined a different club, didn't like it, got back problems, was told that I shouldn't be training, was told that I shouldn't do anything at all, because I used to do weights and all sorts. I was told that I shouldn't do that. In the investigations of my bad back and stuff going on neurologically, they found out that I got Chiari malformation, which is a brain defect. It's actually a skull defect rather than a brain defect, but and I shouldn't have ever been doing martial arts in the first place or lifting weights in the first place. But anyway, I did it and I was fine. But yeah, it doesn't cause me any problems. It's just one of them things. But yes, I got black belt as well, but I haven't trained for many years. I think I could probably hold my own actually in a fight still. Yeah, I say that and then I'd probably lose dismally. But you know when you train for so long that it just becomes muscle memory, like the moves just become muscle memory. I think that would be, and I've got quite like I see red very quickly. Like I can turn on a knife edge. So if something annoys me, I'll turn. And you don't want to be there when I turn. Like this afternoon, I could have turned this afternoon. I could have. Stupid Amazon. Right. Right. I've complained. I hope this guy gets disciplined. Right. Some absolute clown decided that instead of just knocking on my door to deliver an Amazon package, decided to open my door and actually walk in my house without permission, like complete trespass, put my parcel in my hallway. In doing so, right, Tilly legged it downstairs barking at him. He ran. Right, I didn't see any of this. I just heard it. Right, he ran, but by the time he'd run, Tilly and Cassie are both running out. They're outside. He's legged it, and Tilly and Cassie are running around outside. Cassie's all over everyone's yards, in the road. Tilly came back very pleased that she'd seen him off. But Cassie, it took me 20 minutes to get her in because she was so hyped about being out on her own. Right? She was just so hyped about it. It took me 20 minutes to get her in. So I complained to Amazon. I had one of those, one of those chats with a customer service person on like a little messenger thing. I had one of them. So they're sending it to their whatever department to deal with that. Like, it's not the fact, right? If he'd have opened the door and come in my house, that's bad enough, right? I have had them occasionally open my door and throw a parcel in. But this guy actually stepped in because the where he put it, he actually came in the house. And he can't deny it because he took a picture of it. He took a picture of it. I can see it on my Amazon profile. So he's banged to rights. So next time, right, I've got a sword. I've got an actual sword. Next time anybody feels like doing that, they're actually going to get, they're going to get, not the head chopped off. I'm not going to go that far, but I wasn't very happy. I wasn't very happy. I was very angry. And I ran outside. Like once I realized what had happened, Like I legged it because I lived like, I don't live on the road. I live like off the road. So by the time I got to the road, he'd gone. If I'd have caught him though, I was not in a good mood, I have to say. But I wouldn't have been so bothered if he'd have stopped and waited for me to come out and then said, I'm really sorry, and actually owned up to what he'd done. He actually manned up to what he'd done. I could have forgiven him. And if he was really apologetic, I probably wouldn't have complained. I'd have read him the riot act about opening people's doors, walking in the house and letting their dogs out. You know, I could give him the riot act and it wouldn't go no further as long as he'd apologized. But it's the fact that he ran away that I just thought, you absolute coward. Because I know Tilly's big and she is bouncy and she did bark, but she's a big softie. He may have been scared of dogs, I guess. But he ran. He ran. He knew what he'd done wrong and he ran. So he's been reported. Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that I live in a quiet rural area is irrelevant because there's still a road, you know, that's down the road, down the pathway there from my property. So Cassie could have got run over because she ran across. She was running around like a fool. It took me 20 minutes to calm her down to get her in. She was like running round and round in circles, people's yards. You know, the neighbour got to grab the cat to bring the cat in because, it was just incredibly, very, very irresponsible. I know, in my home. Yeah. Both dogs were asleep. And I heard the door and I actually thought my son had come in. Because he said he went to uni this morning and then he was going straight to his girlfriend's. I just assumed that my son had come in to get something, like that he'd forgotten something, and he was just popping in, and he was going to go to his girlfriend's. But then I heard this commotion and barking and then saw the parcel and realised that actually when the door opened and I heard somebody in my house, it wasn't my son. It was this guy. Like, look, I could have been stark naked for all he knew. That would have scared him off. But do you know what I mean? It's an invasion of my home. I'm not happy with it. Not happy with it. Yeah, I mean, people leave my gate open. I would be bothered. But both Cassie and Tilly can clear the fence. So if they go out in the front and they really want to get out, they'll jump the fence. So I'm not that bothered about them leaving the gate open. But yeah, I get the principle of it, that if they leave the gate open and the dog gets out, that's bad enough. But actually coming in your house. I heard him in my house because I thought it was my son. Like, I heard footsteps in my house, and where he put my parcel, he had to come in my house to put it there. So, yeah, complained. It's not right, is it? No, right. Absolutely. I was not happy. Not happy. So there's a post on Facebook. It's not on my Facebook group, so don't go looking for it, but on my personal Facebook with a few swear words in it saying, does anybody want a job as an Amazon delivery driver? Because there's a vacancy coming up. And then I had a rant, so like, what happened? And then I put, for any delivery drivers who think about doing this in future, I have a sword. I'm waiting. But yeah, I only have a sword because I'm an ex-martial artist, so I had the weapons for when I used to do weapons training. No knocking, no knocking, no. And obviously the door's unlocked because he's already just opened the door and walked in. Didn't knock. No, because I thought it was my son because the door just opened. There was no knocking, nothing. No. I do. I have a sword. I have a bokken, which is a Japanese training. It's the shape of a sword, but it's made of wood. It's a bokken. I've got nunchucks. I'm rubbish at nunchucks. I've got sai. What else have I got? I think that's it. I've got a bullwhip. Yeah, so don't come in my house again. Anyone. Yeah. I hope they do as well. They were very apologetic, but, you know, they always are, aren't they? Be careful. The police know I've got them. The police know I've got them. I've got one of them as well. Baseball bat. But yeah, I've never had to use a weapon ever. Never had to use one. Only my hands. My hands are the best weapon ever. I've had to use my hands. It'd be shot. Yeah, I don't have a gun. I don't have any. I suppose I could get a shotgun. If I got like, there's no reason why I couldn't have a shotgun license, but I've no need for a gun. But anyway, any final questions before I sign off? I said I was going to like go to like 10 minutes ago and I didn't. Never mind, the dogs beware of the owner. Yeah, well, Tilly was very pleased with herself because she, you know, in her head, she saw him off. Well, yeah, what was he doing? Like, what was he, you know, just thinking that somebody might be in? Well, he knew someone was in because my door was unlocked and he just walked in. And then he got met with Tilly. Oh dear. I was furious. If I'd have caught him, I was furious. But like I said, if he'd apologized, and I could have just ranted for 2 minutes, and he apologized, and I wouldn't have taken it any further because at least I could have told him what I thought. And if he, you know, promised not to do it again, then he's not going to get fired. I'm not going to, you know, a month before Christmas, not going to get anyone fired. But he didn't. He ran. He was a coward, and I don't like cowardice at all. He was. He ran. He must have run. He must have run. Yeah, must have run. Because by the time I got out and went down to the road, there was no sign of like all like the cars that were there were cars that I know. There was no strange cars there. So yeah, he did. He ran. Coward. I watched that many videos and documentaries on murder. I'm pretty sure I could get away with one, but I'm only joking when I say that. She is very protective. She's a big softie, but she is protective. You know, that's why I'm a bit wary of her when I'm on the field and there's other people. Like if she sees someone on the next field, she'll run. And because she's so big and so bouncy and she does bark, people get scared. So that's why I always call her back. Whereas Cassie doesn't bother anybody else. She's just interested in like hunting. She's interested in like smells, like foxes and squirrels and birds mainly, but you know, any small furry she'll also go after. So she's fine. Whereas Tilly, I have to call her back because people do get scared. And I'm a responsible citizen, you know. But anyway. Exactly. They don't know if she will bite. I mean, she's never bitten. Oh, they never follow instructions, but put a beware of dog sign on my front door. I should do, shouldn't I? She does. She really does. She really does. She has a very loud bark. It's very annoying as well because it's so loud. I never lock my doors. I never lock my doors. I should do. But then again, I've got Tilly, so... and a sword. Anyway, guys, I'm getting silly now, so I'm going to go. So thank you. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. And yeah, hope you found it fun, like quite chilled. Should maybe do these kind of chilled out sessions more often. Pretty fun. Beware of Michelle on the door. Yeah, Linda. Absolutely. So thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. Thank you, Trixie Star, for moderating. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.